Hey, and welcome back to another Emlyn in the Mix podcast, season 3, episode 18. Wow, we're really steaming along. NAMM is just around the corner, and I did say last week it could be the calm before the storm, or maybe the storm has already happened. But as we lead up to NAMM, and for those of you who don't know what NAMM is, it's the National Association of Music Merchants. As we lead up to NAMM, we should see more and more releases. However, I have to say this last week, although there are some really cool things and some sad things, if you have seen the title of this YouTube video and podcast, as we lead up towards NAMM, we can see it has slowed off a bit. And I don't know if that's because now people are stockpiling, or the companies are stockpiling their products until NAMM, or we've already had all the heavy hitters. There's still some good news though to get through today. Now, what is this podcast about, or this video? If this is your first time checking this out, we talk about music technology, music hardware, software and gear. And if you like that sort of thing, studio recording, all of that, if you like the latest and greatest in all of that news, then you're going to love this podcast / YouTube video today. And for all of the regular listeners, thank you so much for joining me as you do. Now, if you want to help other people, you can do that. Did you know that you can actually help other people? It's so easy. All you have to do is like this video, because your liking this video will actually help others discover this video that are interested in music technology and music gear. I mean, just think about it. You could help someone out today. Isn't that fantastic? And without further ado, also consider subscribing while I'm here, just flaunting it about me and the YouTube and the podcast. Not about me, by the way, but subscribe to the channel while you're here. You might as well. And shame on you if you haven't already. If you've been watching the podcast, or you know about the podcast and you haven't subscribed, shame on you. All right, let's get started. If you know me, I have a sense of humor, okay? I don't really care if you subscribe or not. I love you guys no matter what you do. Thank you so much for watching the video. We have to kick off the video though. Let's just get stuck into it. This is kind of sad news actually, this first topic, and this literally just came into my inbox, so we had to include it into the podcast. Sensel Morph is no longer. And I'm going to read up about this. For those of you who don't know what Sensel Morph is, Sensel, the company, I think it's going to continue, as you're going to see when I read you back this little excerpt here, but Sensel, as in the MIDI controllers that they made, these amazing things which you can literally, you can pull off the skins and you can add other skins. Like if you're watching here on the YouTubes, I've got a Sensel Morph, I'm holding it, and you know, you can slap on another skin. You get like a drum pad skin, or you got like a finger drum skin, which I just had on it there. Sorry, I'm just reaching these skins. I probably should have had them within arm's reach. But yeah, so you can see I've got one of the Sensel Morph skins on this pad, which is awesome. It's this incredible 26,000 touch sensitive points on this pad. And that's what Sensel are renowned for making. If you have a look here, you know, I got a finger drum pad and it's Bluetooth. I love it. I can carry it around. And you've even got some like Ableton sort of style controls here. You've got like this touch strips. I mean, the skins can obviously be whatever they want to be, right? You got the notes down here as well. So if you had like a synth or keys, and I just got it hooked up to MIDI. But it's really, really amazing, this controller. Like the amount of touch sensitivity that you have. Listen to this, the pressure you can apply to it, and really get some incredible dynamic. Anyway, that's what they made, and they're not going to be making these anymore. And it's really sad because, well, actually it's really interesting. These things are probably going to go up in value, because I don't know how many they got out. And these things are incredible. Honestly, all music producers should have something like this. But anyway, I digress. Let's read what they have to say and why the sun is setting on Sensel Morph. So here we go. Ever since we sold out of morphs in 2021, which I didn't know about, apparently they sold out of these, many of you have been eagerly awaiting updates about the availability of the Sensel Morph today, and we can provide some closure and announce that unfortunately Sensel will no longer be producing the current morph. That's sad right there. And the morph is this. It's just the pad without the skin on it. The skins, can be 3D printed. You can design your own that was sort of the idea behind the Sensel. But this thing here, this is the actual touch sensitive pad, MIDI controller, Bluetooth, all combined into one incredible technology, is no longer going to be made, which is super, super sad. So like many of you, we feel like we were able to only scratch the surface of the potential of the Morph, and we are disappointed that we can no longer produce it. Production challenges were myriad. The unavailability of what was once a widely available micropressor, you can blame that on what is going over in Europe at the moment, and the lack of supply of the resistive ink that was used for the Morph's pressure sensor, travel restrictions, and internal competition with the rapidly growing demand for Sensel's enterprise solutions. And over the past year, we explored many avenues to restart production, pitching investors, partnering with other music companies, creative arrangements, and high-volume manufacturers, and redesigning the Morph. And in the end, we had to make the difficult decision to focus our core enterprise business, especially in the laptop touchpad market. Sensel's technology is being used in the haptic touchpads of the Lenovo X1, Titanium Yoga, and Microsoft Surface's Laptop Studio, and will be featured in several other models in the near future. We're thrilled to enable the next generation haptic touchpads for Windows laptops and to get our tech into the hands of millions of users. Okay, so they're more focusing, they're steering away from music technology, which is just so super sad. I really wish this company had have succeeded in the music technology arena, but given what has happened of late, and as I've just read here, this is exactly what is happening. People are feeling the crunch and they have to make these decisions. You've got a war raging on over in Europe right now. You got the stock markets crashing. It's all doom and gloom right now. And somehow, hopefully this podcast has made you, I don't want to get down on all you guys, but hopefully this podcast has kept you up throughout these hard times. That has been one of my goals. And obviously to keep you guys inspired, that is definitely one of my goals here on the podcast. But so for those of you who backed the Morph on Kickstarter or purchased one after, we sincerely thank you for being part of the Sensel journey and helping us to get where we are today. We still can't wait to see what you create. And for those of you who signed up for our back in stock notifications while being sold out, we apologize for the long waits and for not being able to fulfill your requests. Making the Morph and seeing what creative people could do with it was incredibly rewarding. From the same controller we saw virtuoso finger drum pads, that's definitely not me, slick productions, tripped out visuals, and interactive installations. The creative minds that got behind the Morph were just awesome. As we move forward with our enterprise business, we hope to influence those markets with what we've learned and work with innovative tool makers to bring the creativity and richness of interaction of the Morph to everyday consumer devices like laptops and phones. So they're focusing more on the area where they can make obviously the biggest profit and where the need is really wanted. And that's just sad, because I think this thing was totally underrated. Every music producer needs a Sensel Morph. These things are freaking phenomenal. I've just started actually teaching music technology at a local school here in Melbourne, Australia, where I live, and I took these to the students yesterday and they love them. They're just so, you think about a younger generation, they're all into iPads and iPhones and anything with a screen, Google Chromebook, whatever, right? So the cool thing about the Sensel Morph is that pretty much they were like, is this an iPad? And I'm like, no, it's not an iPad. It's a controller, but they can understand this. The young generation can actually understand this very easily because, as I say, 26,000 touch pressure sensitive points on this, up to 5 kilograms of pressure. Like you can punch, you wouldn't punch it, but maybe you can. No, okay, I'm not going to punch it. I hear it live on the podcast. But it's just so cool. Like the actual, I put it up there with, your C-boards, your Rolly C-board, like this, and it was cheap too. But now that they're not making them anymore, these things are going to be incredibly hard to get. And I dare say some people are going to be selling these for exorbitant prices, but please don't do that. If you don't need it, just sell it on to someone who should try this out. I'm not selling mine, sadly. I love it. But yeah, it's incredible, guys. And if you didn't get one, Or maybe quickly go check eBay right now. If you listen to this podcast, go out and do yourself a favor. Get a Sensel Morph. No kickback at all for me. I just think you guys should have one of these. This is a freaking... Let's move on. That's just sad. I don't like that. So let's get on to more happier music technology news. And also, just before we do... Obviously, with what's been going on with Behringer as well, they've been struggling to get chips. They have a bunch of synths in their lineup they want to release this year and next year. You know, who knows what company is going to get hit hard by what is happening in the world right now in terms of music making and music technology. But let's see what happens. I mean, only future can tell. I'm hoping and praying there's some big drops at NAMM, but now I'm not sure. I really don't know. With all the chip shortages and everything that's happening, I really don't know. Like, on my wish list is definitely new hardware from Native Instruments, but I just don't know. Native Instruments are killing it, and they're our next one. Let's just get onto it. I digress. I'm rambling. That's what I'm doing. This is what the podcast was designed for. So I don't have to, edit out things. Let's just be real. Let's just talk all of everything that comes out of my mouth, the verbal nonsense. All right, expansion drop 4. A link in the description below. This is freaking cool. This has come from Native Instruments. I have a link in the description below. Go out, full disclosure, affiliate link. Why the hell not? Go support the channel. But check this. This is a great deal. The next two actually affiliate links from Native Instruments, but they're both freaking good things. I wouldn't promote them if I didn't think these were good for music producers. Now, of course, this is subjective. If you're into making EDM, this is for you. If you're not into EDM, it's not for you. So get in the festival season spirit with Massive X. If you haven't got Massive X, go check it out. And trilogy of new EDM expansion packs for just... Now, I've got the Australian price here, sadly. Sorry, I don't have the USD. I'm guessing it's 150 USD. 219 Australian from electrifying leads in charge to the expansion textures of Beam and earth-shattering bass from Bump. The latest drop is all about crafting big anthemic main stage heat to make you move. Get all 3 for the price of 2 or pick up Massive X with a discount and get drop number 4 for free. All right, let's have a quick listen. I think we played this on the podcast before, but let's have a quick listen. Very EDM charge. This one's charge, electrifying synth leads and high impact sequences. Power up your sound with 150 tweakable Massive X presets for infectious melodies and contemporary hooks that hit hard from the studio to the stage. Let's have a listen. Nice. Actually, I haven't heard this demo. This is freaking good. Wow. Yeah, if you want those synth... Wow, they got some big sort of Guetta sounding, huge sounding synths. Let's check out Beam. So Beam is hypnotic textures, pulsing pads, and mesmerizing atmospheres. Beam comes loaded with 150 Massive X presets of stuttering swells and rises, the essential building blocks of contemporary EDM. Let's have a look here. Yeah, if you don't wake up to that, then I don't know what will wake up. That's Beam and Bump. So rave ready, rumbles, booming bass, and earth-shattering subs. Bump brings the low-end pair with the new bass enhancer effects for hard-hitting bass lines that get things moving from your speaker cones to festival crowds. Let's have a look. Damn, this sounds great. Whoa. This is bumping, as it should be. Okay, there's Bump. Wow. All three of these expansions, very impressive, and those demos very impressive indeed, showcasing the sounds you're going to get if you're into making that sort of music. This instrument, Massive X, I feel like very overlooked in this day and age. I know that Massive back in the day was huge, but Massive X, I don't know, there's so much competition for these types of synths, but Massive X as an instrument, wow, if you can create those sort of variations of sounds just with these presets here. Check this out, there's also a new bass enhancer as part of Massive X. So did someone say more bass? Effortlessly boost your bottom end with our latest addition to Massive X. Bass enhancer, with an intuitive crossover filter to split high and low bands. You can leave the high of your sounds unaffected while dialing in drive and compression in the low end for sounds that pack punch. That's pretty cool. I think that's a new feature that wasn't there before. But anyway, go check this out. This is a pretty good deal, actually. You get the 3 expansions and Massive X, all part of this. And why not do yourself a favor? If you're into that sort of music, and it is an affiliate link, click below to go out and get yourself a copy if you are interested in that, or you make that style of music. Then I definitely think this is going to help you. It's going to be better than getting something like, I mean, look, don't get me wrong, Nexus is cool, but this, because you've got an actual instrument rather than a sample rompler per se, I just feel like there's more, there's more tweakability, if that is even a word. I think it is. Tweakability, you can tweak things more. You get the drill. All right, next thing here, again, affiliate link down below. But this is freaking cool because if you've had your eye on Guitar Rig 6 is now half price. Now, I've got the Australian dollar again, but USD, they're saying it's 99 instead of 200, 199 or whatever it was. For those of you who don't know what Guitar Rig is, it is a Guitar Rig emulation. It is freaking amazing. It's more than just a guitar amp rig emulation. There's effects, there's all sorts of cool effects, like you got free quad delay just from looking at this little image here. New amps and effects, rebuilt interface, creative guitar solutions. If you're a guitarist, or even if you're not a guitarist and you want to add more sort of distortion and effects to your production workflow, then this is for you. Definitely, you got to check out Guitar Rig. It is a fantastic amp simulator and effect simulator, and they're just overall, they've really fixed the GUI on this thing. They're making it really clean, really easy, really nice to see. Like, look here, you got Beat Masher, Format Filter, Phases. Maybe we can have a quick listen to some audio demos. Guitar Rig 6, let's have a quick listen here. So that's all using the guitar emulation, but it can do much more than that. As I say, you've got a bunch of effects, you got color markers, you can color your favorite. Just go check it out. There's probably a free demo. Yeah, there is. There's a demo here if you want to try it out first, but the affiliate link will be down below in the description. All right, let's move along to our next piece of news here. I don't know what this is. This just looks interesting to me. Comes to us from our friends at Splice, splice.com. innovating, getting out there and innovating. This actually, I kind of have an idea of what this is. It seems very interesting, and I wanted to include it in the podcast. Meet CoSo, not Costco, as I kept calling it before the podcast, not Costco. For some reason, my brain says Costco, but it's CoSo, okay? So Splice's new music creation surface. What the heck is this? It looks like it works on your phone. So instant inspiration. First, pick a style and start up to 8 layers of sounds that beam together from across Splice's legendary catalog. Swipe to switch sounds and don't stop until you feel inspired. When you're done, send to a friend or locate your sounds on Splice to use in your DAW. So essentially, this is an artificial intelligent finder of samples. Now, this is nothing new, but I think this is new for Splice. And there might be some newer technology behind this. I think these sort of things are interesting when we've got artificial intelligence helping us discover like the beats and the keys and the samples that are going to work together. It says here, billions of musical outcomes using sounds that belong together, all from under your thumb. So yeah, it's obviously iOS and Android, I hope. So CoSo reacts to your creative instincts by showing your loops that can complement your sound selection. And CoSo's AI combs Splice's endless catalog of sounds to dig up loops from every style. So stack up to 8 interactive layers, swipe through sounds in each layer until you build your perfect idea. Sounds pretty cool, right? So you could have a bunch of samples that you've, put together, and CoSo is going to help you sort of cipher through and work out which one's going to work best together. So let's have a look. Created in CoSo. CoSo is a dream collaborator for every style and experience level. Hear it for yourself below. All right, let's have a listen to Beats. This was made in CoSo. So yeah, I see what it's doing here. It's putting I can hear all the different samples going, but they all work. They're obviously the right key, the right everything. Let's listen to a dance one. This is made with CoSo. So this is an AI. Think of this as your Siri music friend. Not bad, not bad. I wonder how it does the bass and stuff too. Like, is it picking samples from the same sample catalog? I don't know. Hypothesis. This sounds a bit more complex, actually. Wow. To me, it sounds like it's just making loops, though. That's cool. Loops are good. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty cool. Smooth. So yeah, then you can save, send, and share. I mean, they sound good. I see what it's doing. It's putting together different sound. I can hear all the different samples going in one there. Save, send, and share. You can share with collaborators or locate layers on Splice to use them in your DAW. What will you create today? I mean, go check it out. I'm pretty sure it's just a free app. It just looked interesting, and I wanted to include it in today's podcast. All right, next one here quickly is that we have a new pure magnetic sound expansion for Ableton Live. This is a Nostalgique. It's called Nostalgique. Is a rich collection of instruments and drum racks that have been multi-sampled from 3 pieces of beloved and sonic gear. Add vintage character to your productions or rework these classic sounds to create your own future retro experiments. Have a listen to this because this demo is pretty cool. So this is Nostalgique. This is new to Ableton Live as a sound expansion from Pure Magnetic. It's coming up as 49 AUD. Sorry about all the AUDs today. Australian dollars. Boom. Money. No. Probably 25 USD. All right, let's have a quick listen to Nostalgique here. Yeah, if you like that classic Ensoniq synth sampled sound, they've done a great job with this Nostalgique expansion pack. Go check it out. It's the Ensoniq Sound Digital Character and Analog Crunch Nostalgique, a new sound pack for Ableton Live, and it looks great. And it's I think it's the installation size is 2.2 gigs, so it's quite hefty indeed. All right, let's move along here. Now, we did speak about the TX6 a couple of weeks ago now from Teenage Engineering. Remember that tiny little mixer? And I did do a survey with you guys on the YouTube channel, and most of you said you wouldn't be getting it because it is too darn expensive. And yes, I do understand. It is feature packed, however. But I wanted to bring this to you guys' attention because there is a really cool, if you were kind of on the edge of about the TX6 or you were kind of interested in it, there's a nice little story on the teenage.engineering website right now that shows you a little bit of a behind the scenes of how that little TX6 mixer was made. And it's quite interesting because this thing is so tiny, and to see how it was actually made is very fascinating indeed. So to celebrate the release of TX6, this is coming from Teenage Engineering, we thought we'd give you a look into the design and engineering process behind our portable mixer. Here's software developer and product owner Marcus Nielsen shares his experience working on TX6 over the years. Also, with the ability to travel again, we have some behind the scenes footage of our customized production process, which is filmed in their factory in Malaysia. So you can watch there's a video, head over there. But if you're checking out the podcast here on YouTube's, you can see the machine putting it together. And look, I know that it's an expensive device, but god damn, it does a lot for its size, and it's incredible. There's nothing like this on the planet again. But yes, I get it on the price. I do get the pain that's felt within it. It's hit me as well, because I'm just like, I don't know, we're about to hit a recession. Does the world need this mini mixer? I do want to support this though. This kind of thing is cool, and I know we've already had this debate before. But anyway, you can check out my other video on the TX6. I don't know why I'm pointing, because I don't even think there's going to be a link here. I did it a couple of weeks ago, and we discussed all of that controversial stuff. I think the TX6 is an incredible product though, but go check out, if you want to see a bit of behind the scenes of how it was made, head over to the website there. And another piece of news here, this is a hardware drop. It's not the most sexiest of hardware drops. We don't usually include these, but it is, of course, coming to us from Focusrite, so it is kind of pretty cool. Focusrite making high quality audio interfaces. They just dropped a brand new, and again, this is probably something that's leading up to NAMM, brand new professional quality 8 in 8 out Clarett OctoPre. And it looks sexy. If you need more inputs, you need more outputs, the Clarett OctoPre is going to do it. And the cool thing about these Claretts by Focusrite is you get that console sound. You get the all analog air with relay controlled circuitry. And actually a couple of my friends have the Clarett. They got the smaller, I think they got the 2 in 2 out Clarett. They sound phenomenal. They have really good pre's. I would put them in the top 5 of audio interfaces. So if you were on the market looking for a brand new audio interface, go check this one out. If you needed more inputs, that is perfect for capturing drums or recordings with every detail. And yeah, no kickback for me on this one. This is just me mentioning that it was a new hardware drop and worth checking out. I'm sure it will be at the NAMM show, and with among other things that are going to be there. All right, let's move along to a big piece of news for the week. And I already did a video on this, so if you want to go check that out, we did a full review, or not a full review, but we just did a breakdown of this. It is the Minimode from Cherry Audio. They released this software synthesizer. Now, I know this has come in many forms, the emulation of this particular Moog, but this is the best emulation of this particular Moog that I've had the chance to play with. So again, don't leave the podcast just yet, but do go check out that video when we're done here on the podcast, because I did a bit more of a sort of, I guess you could say, a shallow deep dive is going to be my new my new word, which I said on the video. I thought that was so funny. All right, anyway, so the big bang of synths. Minimode is a painstakingly virtual emulation of the granddaddy of all portable synthesizers, the legendary Mini Moog Model D. which was introduced in 1971. Now, I know that Mini Moog Model D has been emulated quite a few times by various companies, said Arturia, for example, and a bunch of others. But again, this is the only one that has MIDI polyphonic expression, MPE-enabled presets that I know of. And honestly, this is the best emulation. If you hear this thing, I'm going to play a little demo in a sec. It's freaking real. So no other instrument is more associated with the word synthesizer than the iconic Mini Moog. It's perhaps the best known and loved analog synthesizer ever made. Through its innards weren't identical to Moog's massive modular synths. It shared the thick, juicy, fat analog sound that remains unchallenged 50 years later. It sets the standard for future synthesizers, inspired whole new genres of music, and defined the sound of artists as diverse as Kraftwerk, Herbie Hancock, Rick Wakeman, Pink Floyd, Parliament, Gary Newman, and countless others. Minimode's feature-packed, faithful virtual analog emulation of the legendary Model D. Anyway, you can check that all out. They got a beautiful Minimode introductory price. Cherry audio is never expensive, $39. I love on their website how to have this dark mode and light mode. That's just a nice little cute feature to have there. One thing I did want to mention though that I didn't get to mention on the video that we did on the Minimode, and again, you can go check that out if you want to see more on it and its sounds, is the weekly raffles that they are holding by Cherry Audio, because the whole point of the Minimode is to support the Bob Moog Foundation, and Cherry Audio is going to host 4 weeks of long raffles beginning each Monday, May 2nd, which has already been, May 9th, which is coming up the 16th, and May 16th, and culminating on May 23rd, which would have been Dr. Moog's 88th birthday had he still been alive today. The raffles will feature prizes donated by the Bob Moog Foundation and are open to those who continued to the Bob Moog Foundation through a dedicated donation portal. So you can add a donation to the Bob Moog Foundation through the Cherry Audio store, and backers will automatically, check this out, be entered into the week's drawing announced on Cherry Audio's social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Winners will be randomly selected from that week's entrance and announced each Friday on those same channels. And here we go. Sets of the following items have been graciously donated by the Bob Moog Foundation for their raffles. So you got the 2022 Synthesizer Pioneer Calendars if you want to win this. Fundamentals of Synthesizer Complete. Set of 7 posters. Dr. Moog Quotes posters. Bob Moog Foundation logo baseball hat. Oh, I want that. Moogsian baseball hat, I want that as well. Bob Moog Foundation luggage tag. And Circuit of My Mind art poster. I want that. And if you have a look here, I'll just zoom in if you are watching on YouTube. There's a bunch of the prizes that you can win simply by entering the raffles. But I thought that was pretty cool. Go check that out over on the Cherry Audio website for more information on the weekly raffles that they're having for the Bob Moog Foundation to celebrate Bob Moog's birthday, which would have been happening. All right, guys, thank you so much. That's the Minimode by Cherry Audio. We're going to have to wrap up the podcast here. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast today. What did you like? Leave your comments in the comments section down below. What did you think of Sensel Morph? That is very sad news indeed. And some of the other cool new products, like we got the CoSo by Splice. Is that something interesting? You think artificial intelligence should make loops for you? The brand new sound expansion for Ableton Live Nostalgique. Do you want to check out the TX6 and how it's made by Teenage Engineering? What do you think of the Minimode here by Cherry Audio? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the podcast today. Definitely leave a like on the way out. It does help other viewers find this podcast. It would be greatly appreciated. And go check out the Bob Moog Raffle Foundation. You're supporting a great cause and you're entering into an awesome raffle. Thank you for joining me. I'm Emlyn. This has been Emlyn in the Mix. Till next time, till next week, we'll be back inching closer to NAMM. We're only, 2-3 weeks away. So hopefully there's some more drops as we're heading calm before the storm, whatever it is. Let's see what happens, guys. And stay creative. I'm out of here. Peace out, guys. Boom.